Good morning, good afternoon and good evening class. This is our lecture number 2 of subject OC and chapter number 2, that is Principles of Management. In last lecture we have discussed about what will we learn in this chapter and concept, introduction, and lastly we have discussed about the nature of principles of management. In today's lecture we are going to cover first importance of principles of management, in which there is 6 points, and then we will move forward to the thoughts of management. Basically, according to the time period, the thoughts of management, or we can say the evolution of principles of management, are divided into 3 parts. First one is the thought of classical theory. Second one is the thoughts of neoclassical theory, or we can say it is behavior related thoughts, and third one is the thoughts of modern theory. But today in this lecture we are going to discuss only about the thoughts of classical theory. Thoughts of neoclassical theory and thoughts of modern theory will discuss on lecture number 3. Now let us start with point number 2.1.4, that is importance of principles of management, which is given on page number 19 of your textbook. Importance. Principles of management provides a vision to managerial behavior and highly affects the management works. Now, as we have discussed in last lecture, that principles of management are some kind of values and beliefs. These are not rules, but it is a common assumptions and experience which is accepted by all the managers, which are sometimes useful in the solution of a problem, and with the practical application of these principles we are able to solve many of our decision related problems. So here the principles of management provides a vision to managerial behavior. It means it provides a proper direction and a long-term decision maker to the managerial behavior and highly affects the management work. It means it affects the management works into the different behavior. Managers are using it for achievement of goals, because with this the management are able to achieve all their goals by the way of using these principles of management. These principles direct the managers for decision making. It means they are giving the direction to the manager in different situations where they can solve the different problems of the management by the way of using these principles of management. Thus, principles of management play a key role for a unit. It means the principles of management are the main crux, or it is the heart and soul for the organization. Its importance can be described as follows. So its importance is as given below. So let us discuss the importance of principles of management, in which we are having 6 importance, which are as follows. Let us start with the first one, that is increase in managerial efficiency. Principles of management is providing guidelines to managers to perform tasks in different situations. See, it is not any kind of scripted activities while you are managing a business. In each and every minute and each and every day, you are facing some kind of different confusing situation where you have to take the decision in different circumstances. Some of the circumstances are favorable to the business organization, while some of the circumstances are not in the favor of the managers. So it may happen that you have to take a decision in a highly pressurized environment, and for that you require some kind of guidelines which is provided by the principles of management. So principles of management are providing direction to the manager to perform a task in different situation, due to which improvement in functioning of a business unit and gain in managerial efficiency is also seen. If once these principles of management are applied to the business activities, and if we use it in routine activities, then it will helpful in improvement of functioning of a business unit, because now the manager is able to take the decision in different situations and circumstances and gain in managerial efficiency is also seen. It means the managerial efficiency can be increased by the way of using these principles of management in routine activities. Now let us move towards the second point, that is maximum usage of resources and effective administration of resources. So here it is given as a maximum usage and effective administration of resources. Mostly availability of human and physical resources are limited in a business unit. It is universal truth that human wants are always unlimited, but the resources for satisfying the needs are always limited. Same way in business organization also. Mostly availability of human, it means the applicability of the labor and different kind of officers and executives in business organizations are always limited, and physical resources like machinery, transportation, tools, equipments, packaging, etc. are limited in a business unit. It means we are living in a constrained environment where we have to constantly trade off between the different activities and different resources. And there is always pressure that we have to take the decision to which activity is given a priority and which is not under these circumstances. It is unavoidable to make its maximum usage. So, by this way, we can use these resources with the maximum extent so that we can get the exact result. As we are seeing in all the factories which are producing goods are working on a 24 hours basis. They are using 3 different shifts of labor because there is a limitation of human elements and also the limitation of physical machines. That's why they are using their machinery and factories for 24 hours. So it is the maximum usage of resources. So this will be the one of the example of this maximum usage and effective administration of resources that factories are running on 24-hour basis. Here, meaning of the word maximum is that to make usage of the resources through principles of management. Here, maximum means we are not getting the work or we are not going to exploit the machineries or labors in any way. So here we have to apply the principles of management. As all of us are seeing that in the factories, the workers are working for 8 hours a day, or their shift will be of 8 hours only. So the working of 8 hours is decided by the principles of management. So here in the run of or for the focusing or in the rush of using the maximum resources, we cannot exploit our machineries or labors. So here to make the maximum usage of resources, the principles of management is necessary, whereas they can get maximum benefit with minimum costing. So here we will try that the expenditure should be minimum and the benefit should be the maximum. That is the second point, that is maximum usage and effective administration of resources. Now let us move towards the third one, that is helpful for scientific and logical decisions. In the absence of principles of management, it may happen that the manager is taking decision by their own way or randomly. And sometimes it may happen the decision taken by this manager may be wrong and it will result in the higher cost for the organization. So here, with the help of principles of management, we can take scientific and logical decisions of each and every activities of the business organization. Decisions should be always based on facts, thoughtfulness, objectives, and justifiable. It means whatever decision we are taking, it should be based on facts which are collected by the different person or the manager himself. Then thoughtfulness, because you have to understand and predict the long-term effect of each and every decision. You have to assume each and every situation well in advance before taking any decision. So decision should be always based on facts which is collected by manager. Thoughtfulness, it means farsightedness of a manager. Objectives, it means the decision should be related with the objective oriented or accomplishment of objective. And justifiable, it means it should justify your pre-decided objectives. Moreover, decision should be timely. It means whenever it is a need of a decision or there is a necessity to take any kind of decision in a business organization, we have to take that decision in a timely manner. Reality based, it means we have to predict the situation or we have to analyze the business environment, and in which both the factors, that is internal factor and external factors, and then we have to take the decision, that is called reality based decisions. And effective, it means this decision should be effective in all the ways in the organization. Management principles provides a key role for taking appropriate decision. Here they are providing some kind of vision, some kind of rules and some kind of values to the organization which will helpful in taking the decisions. Using management principles, so by the way of using these principles, decisions can be made appropriately, so that as all of our decisions are based on facts, thoughtfulness and objective oriented, we can take the decision on appropriately, timely and without partiality, because the manager who is sitting at the top will decide all the things without any biasness. He will take into consideration the priorities and then taking all the decisions that is necessary for the business organization. So the decisions can be made appropriately, timely, without partiality and unbiased. Unbiased means without partiality. Fourth one is to cope up with the changing business environment. As we have discussed in chapter number 1 also, that the business environment is ever changing. There is basically two factors that are affecting the business environment of a business, and that is external factors and internal factors. Internal factors are all those factors which are in the hands of the management, that management can control the activities of these particular factors, and they can take decision according to their own choice. While external factors are all those factors which are out of the reach of the organization and manager, and we can't control them, and we have to behave according to the changing in these external factors. In the external factors, we will be having pastel analysis, that is political, economic, social, technological, legal and environmental factors. While in internal we are having employees, customers, market, organization, intermediaries, etc. So normally management principles are an ordinary guide. It means it is used by all the managers, and it is an ordinary guidelines, as we are having our religious books which are providing us ordinary guidelines to living a peaceful life. But management principles are necessary to meet business environment in changing circumstances. It means without the use of management principles, we cannot survive in ever-changing environment of business activities, where there is always development in technology, there is a new product innovation and invention in the market, and in this kind of situation we are not able to cope up with these changing circumstances. So we have to use these managerial principles. Fifth one is to fulfill social responsibility. Social responsibility is one of the responsibility of a business organization, along with the responsibility of earning a profit and a revenue, because the business itself run in the society, it takes birth in the society, runs in the society, and use all the resources which are provided by the society. So business is indivisible part of community, because each and every activity, even we are selling the goods and services to the same community. Profit is considered as the aim of the business. So the main motive or the main objective of business is a profit. But it is not the only aim. It means along with the aim of profit, we should focus on the different elements, and social responsibility is one of the elements which is useful for the business organization to achieve its pre-decided objective, and that is profit. Because without the support of social or without the support of community, no business will run successfully, and they will not get any of the resources, and they can't be able to sell their products in the community also. So the development and progress of society are also aim of business unit. So for that, the development is also necessary. By effective implementation of management principles, it means all those principles which are given by different thinkers, if we use them effectively, business unit can easily achieve aim of social responsibility. So business unit will gain their social responsibility with the help of principles of management. Now sixth one is the useful for research, training and development. It means it is related with the employees, and research is related with the different kind of innovation and inventions. Management principles are main part of management thoughts, because when we starting discussing about these management thoughts, it is based on the management principles itself. Only by using the management principles, task of training, education and development is possible. In the initial years of the industrialization, or when the manual working was there is no specific rules for recruitment, training and development of employees. But as more and more industries are developed, and all those industrialists taking into consideration the human element as an important element of a business activity, they have undertaken a proper research on training and development of employees. So all the training and development activities is also done on the basis of principles of management. So only by using the management principles, task of training, education and development is possible. Like now aptitude tests are taken for appointment in various business units. When we discuss chapter 5th, and in that specifically when we are going to discuss about the selection process, we will discuss about this aptitude test. These are the tests which is taken for the training and development of employees. These aptitude tests are prepared through research and by implementing and using management principle through which appropriate employees are appointed. So when in the absence of principles of management, there is a random process of research and training and development. But nowadays, this aptitude test which are undertaken by different organizations are prepared through research. It means there is a deep research undertaken, and by implementing and using management principle through which appropriate employees are appointed. So the principles of management are also useful in appointment, selection and training and development of employees also. Now let us move towards the new point, that is point number 2.2, that is thoughts of management. As we have discussed, or as I have mentioned there, the thoughts of management are divided into three parts. First one is the thoughts of classical theory. Second one is the thoughts of neoclassical theory. And third one is the thoughts of modern theory, which is applied in today's industrial activities. Now let us start with point number 2.2, that is thoughts of management. Management thoughts are the outcome of researches, studies and results in the field of management. Line these statements. If there is a question of 1 mark there, what is management thoughts, then you have to write this, that management thoughts are the outcome of researches. It means during the different time periods, there are some different kind of management gurus and thinkers and researchers. They have undertaken the different research and finding out different findings amongst these principles, and these findings are also known as the principles of management. Studies and results, that results is of the researches in the fields of management. So management thoughts are the outcome of research, studies and results undertaken by different authors in different time period in the fields of management. Every thought represents its unique observation, because when we will complete these three thoughts, we will be able to understand that all these thoughts are different from each other. As in thoughts of classical theory, we are having different thinkers and researchers, while in neoclassical theory there is a different researchers and thinkers, and in modern theory also. Their findings in different time period is also different, and their observations and results is also different according to the situation of that particular time period. Many management gurus have represented different principles by separate opinions. As we have seen in chapter number 1 of subject economics in standard 11, that the definition of economics is given by different 4 authors, and their opinion and point of view is also different. So same kind in thoughts of management also, the management gurus have separate opinion, and they have accumulated or they have formulated different theories on the basis of their researches and findings. Hence, so many branches and some branches have been developed, as we have discussed in economics also. Different branches are developed here also. Different branches have been developed, and it is called thoughts of approaches of management. So, it may be asked, that is either thoughts of management or approaches of management, both are the same thing. So, whether it is asked as a thoughts or approaches, you have to write these thoughts of the management theories. So let us start with the first thought, that is thoughts of classical theory. The thoughts of management presented till the end of 19th century is known as thought of classical theory. So I have mentioned here that these thoughts of classical theory are till the end of 19th century. It means up to the end of 19th century, whatever thoughts and researches and principles put forward by the different authors and thinkers is known as the thoughts of classical theory. So first of all, you have to remember that the thoughts of classical theory are up to or till the end of 19th century. Main promoters of thoughts of classical theory are, you have to remember this one also, that the main promoters of this classical theory are Frederick Taylor, that is Frederick Winslow Taylor, which we will be going to discuss, and there is a separate principles of management of Frederick Winslow Taylor, which we are going to discuss after completion of all these 3 thoughts. So Frederick Taylor, Max Weber, Gilbreth, Henry Gantt, and Henry Fayol. I have mentioned the name of all 5 thinkers over here and management gurus. You have to remember these 5 names also. Taylor's contribution. Now, in this particular point, that is in the thoughts of classical theory, there is the point of or principles or the brief above the principles of management given by different thinkers, that is Frederick Taylor, Henry Fayol, and Max Weber is given. And at the last of this point, we are going to discuss about the limitations of classical thoughts. So let us start with the theory or thoughts of Frederick Taylor. Taylor's contribution in thoughts of classical theory is very important, because before that there was a traditional method which was prevalent in that time period. And as per the traditional method, the workers are asked to work as a rule of thumb, which we are going to discuss in the detailed points of Frederick Taylor. So, the Taylor's contribution in thoughts of classical theory is very important. Scientific management principles presented by Frederick Taylor also exist into the thoughts of classical theory of management even today. So, by Frederick Taylor, he has put forward the scientific management principles. This is the main point, or this is the main finding of Frederick Winslow Taylor, that is scientific management principles which are applicable even in today's industrial world. It means the theory put forwarded by Frederick Taylor in the time of classical theory is also useful in today's modern world. Then, approaches of scientific management favors scientific principles by time and motion study instead of traditional method. In traditional method, there was no specific rules and regulations regarding the business activities and business work. All the employees are asked to do work as per the orders given by the management. There were no specific rules regarding the time taken for the work. It means they may be asked to work for more than 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours a day. There will be the higher work burden on them, and there were higher pressure of work on the employees in the traditional method. But as per the finding of Frederick Taylor, he has put forward the time and motion study. We are going to discuss in detail, but time, it means time taken by an employee to complete the particular task, and motion study is the study of removing unnecessary movement of machines from one place to another. So by both of these way, we can save the labor, and by this way, we can helpful the laborers to get more productivity. So instead of or in the place of traditional method, Frederick Taylor has put forward scientific management principle in which he has favored the time and motion study. Main contribution of scientific principles lies into specialization in management. It means here we have to give the chances to all those who are specialized in different management activities, like will be having a committee or a team of planning, organizing, staffing, or we can say will be having the managers and departmental heads according to the department, that is marketing department, HR department, etc., which is called specialization in management. Second one is a progressive wage system. It means instead of a flat wage rate for all the efficient and non-efficient worker, he has favored the progressive wage system. It means there will be higher wages to all the efficient employees and lower wages or minimum wages to all the inefficient workers. Then third one is the responsibility. It means providing them or awarding them with the responsibility of a particular task. And lastly, scientific distribution of tasks, in which he has favored three different points there. A worker can be given a maximum work up to his capacity. Second, the wage rate should be minimum as per his work. And third one, for efficient employees, the incentive will be 30% to 100%. It means sometimes it may happen that an efficient worker can get double of his salary by the way of scientific distribution of his task. So these are the points which is discussed in the Frederick Taylor's principles of management. Now, second one is a contribution of Henry Fayol. About this Henry Fayol, we are also going to discuss their general principles in detail. There are total 14 principles given by Henry Fayol. So, the contribution of Henry Fayol in thoughts of classical theory is also significant. He significantly contributed to thoughts of management by presenting general principles of management. So, I have mentioned over here that the principles given by Henry Fayol is general principles of management, and it is 14 in number, which is given after the Frederick Taylor's contribution in management. He decides level of different tasks in business units. So decides the level of task. It means there should be a task awarding and task distribution system to the different levels which we have discussed in chapter number 1, that is top level, middle level and bottom level. So he decided levels of different tasks in business unit and tried to decide limits of tasks. So along with the levels of task, he has decided the limit of task which is given to a person. He also, to perform managerial duty at different levels, he also provided universal principles of management as guidelines, which are the 14 principles which we are going to discuss in next few sessions. Apart from this, it means apart from Frederick Taylor and Henry Fayol, there is a contribution of Max Weber. Here I have mentioned the name because you have to remember mainly these three and all two, that is Galbraith and Henry Gantt also. So apart from this, there is a contribution of Max Weber into thoughts of classical theory. Now, till the end of 19th century, formats and size started to change due to industrial revolution. As we have discussed in standard 11 that in the initial years of industrialization or in the initial years of a business, we will be having sole proprietorship and partnership and cooperative sectors. But as format and size of the business activities is increasing day by day, we need to establish one more form of a business organization, and that is the company format. So as till the end of 19th century, formats and size started to change due to industrial revolution. It means before that time period or in the classical time, there was a manual and semi-automatic working there. But nowadays, there is a highest level of automation is there, and today we are using some of the robotic technology also. So as a result, the need for changes in it arise due to some limitations of thoughts of classical theory. So these are the limitations of thoughts of classical theory which gives birth to the thoughts of neoclassical theories. Or all the principles which are given in the classical theory are now no more useful for the neoclassical and modern time periods. So some of the principles of the classical theory is importance to financial motivation. All the management gurus of classical theory has favored in the financial incentive and financial benefits to the management, and it is focused on the financial motivations where they have neglected all other facilities given to the employees. And second one is that less importance to human approach, because they are feeling that the humans are one of the element of production. So there is a very less importance to human approaches, and they have focused on the formal relations, that is I am your boss and you have to work as per the orders and instructions given by me. You have no voice in the organization and etc. So these two is the limitation, that is importance to financial motivation and less importance to human approaches and informal relations. So here we conclude this lecture number 2, and today we have discussed the importance of principles of management. These are 6 in number, and thoughts of management, in which today we have discussed only the classical theory of management principles. In next lecture we are going to discuss the neoclassical and modern theory. Thank you very much, class.